Hey guys, welcome to my top 10 fall and winter fragrances list. I didn't make a video last fall and winter and I got a lot of heat from you guys over that. So I apologize. I made sure to get my list ready this year. The reason why I didn't make one last year was because I didn't have a very cold winter and I wasn't satisfied with the rankings and my choices. So because I wasn't exactly sure about that, I didn't want to release a video telling you my picks that I wasn't confident about, and I want to make sure every video I release to you guys is honest and that these recommendations that I give you are worth taking seriously. So I'm excited to do this list for you guys. I divided them the same way as I did before: 5 for fall, 5 for winter. I'll get started here with the top 5 fall fragrances. At number 5 we have Cartier's Roadster, the original. This scent was originally made popular by Marc. I've heard people say that this is a very cooling fragrance that they like wearing it in spring and summer, but no, I disagree. I think that this is a warming scent. I think it's a very thick, the sweetness of the mint and I think it's lavender in there and vetiver. It's great for fall. It's got great performance. It does give me compliments. It's, in my opinion, high quality juice. It only smells synthetic to me when I wear it on hot days, so that's one reason why I don't like wearing it in the summer. But in the cold weather, it smells great. It performs very, very well, and it's not popular. That's one of the best things I like about this fragrance, is that not a lot of people will recognize it. Not a lot of people know what you're wearing. It's something different, and that's why it made the list here at number 5, Cartier's Roadster. At number 4, this fragrance has been on almost every list I've ever made. There's a reason why. This is Dolce & Gabbana's The One. This fragrance, despite the knocks on it, that it has poor performance, doesn't last as long as you'd like, and that it's not as popular. I mean, it's too popular, and it's not as unique as I would like. It's just too good for me not to wear it. It just smells too good, and it's one of those scents that there are a few fragrances out there that women wear, that I smell it on different girls and I've smelled it before, but because I like the scent so much, I don't really care. You know, it still smells good, and that's like this one. People don't care. I don't care. It smells so good that wearing it it's never a bad thing, and it's high quality. It's the smell. You know, it smells so exotic, I guess you could say, that even though it's a common scent, whenever you smell it, you're like, that smells great. It's kind of like smelling really good food. You may have smelled that Mexican food many times before in your life, but every time you smell it, you're like, oh, that smells good. Same thing with Dolce & Gabbana's The One. There is a new parfum version that's out, and I'm excited to get my hands on it to see if it solves that problem of performance. I will make a video of that when I do get it and let you guys know what I think about that. The next fragrance at number 3 is Dior Homme Eau, a newer addition to my collection. This one was released in 2014, I believe. And this one, I was impressed because I first heard about it through Cody. Cody did a review, and out of the 100 people he asked to sniff it, I think he said like 90 people had good things to say about it. It didn't blow people away, but it was a nice scent. People enjoyed it. So it's a good people pleaser. And I said, that sounds up my alley. I went and got it. And I just reached for this one. Last year, even this year, I reached for it a lot. I think it's a classy fragrance. It's smooth. It's got a bit of a warming scent to it. It's a little bit powdery, not quite as masculine as I would like in a fragrance. But it's a safe scent. It's a dumb reach, and it's gotten me compliments. It's great for fall, and it just gets a lot of play for me. So it's here at number 3, Dior Homme Eau. Go check it out if you haven't. At number 2, this fragrance, I wish I had got it sooner. I had people tell me, hey, you should try this one. And I smelled it, I tested it out for a little bit, but it didn't really impress me that much. But the reason why I got it is because when I would ask girls, I would say, what's your favorite scent on a guy? And this scent, the name of this one kept popping up in those conversations. So I said, you know, I need to get my hands on this one. I need to give it a second chance. And it did exactly what I expected it to do. Tons of compliments. Well, let me show it to you. This is Carolina Herrera's CH Men. This one compliments, compliments, compliments. Ladies, they love this fragrance. I'm surprised it's not as highly rated in the fragrance community. Maybe that's why I didn't give it a shot in the beginning, because I didn't see a lot of reviewers talking about this fragrance. And man, man, oh man, this is the hidden gem. This is like, it's up there with the One, with La Nuit, with Bleu de Chanel, all these people pleaser, lady killers is what they call them, fragrances in the community. This is right up there. CH, man, one of the best compliment getters in my collection. Very high quality, great performance. The only knock I can give this fragrance is that it's a little bit feminine, on the feminine side. It's not quite as masculine. But I once asked this one girl, what's the difference between this one and Bleu de Chanel? And her response was, this one, it's a sexier fragrance. It's a more youthful, more seductive, like a young man's fragrance. Like she said, it's almost like a player's scent. And I was like, yeah, that's true, because Bleu de Chanel is more of a classy fragrance, and this one is definitely more of a sensual, seductive, very sweet and playful fragrance. So CH, man, I highly recommend checking this one out for fall, and you can even pull this one off in winter because it's got great performance. At number 1, this fragrance is one of those scents that I think both of my number 1s are this way. This is one of those fragrances that it does give me compliments. It is a people pleaser. It has great performance. It's all of those things. But I wear it more for myself. This is the type of scent that I would wear to bed. I love it that much. And there are those days when I just want to be uplifted by the fragrance that I'm wearing. I want you know, to just smell good. I want my entire day to smell good. I want to enjoy what I'm wearing. And it's like that with most of my fragrances. But this is the one that stands out when that's my mood, more so than anything else in my collection. I've been wearing it a lot. This is Terry Mugler's Ultra Zest, at number 1. It's an orangey fruit punch type of a feel. Very similar to Dolce & Gabbana's The One. Very smooth. It's got a little bit of spiciness to it. It's a sweet fragrance, you know, like I said, syrupy. It's high quality. It's unique. It's not like anything else people are wearing. There are girls that I know who pretty much know any scent that I'm wearing, but they can't recognize this one. And so I love stumping people and they can't figure out what you're wearing. This is one of those not very well known because it's a new release. It was just released this year. But this is a me scent, and it's number 1 because I just love wearing this anywhere. You can wear it dressed up, dressed down, going out. You can even pull this off in the winter. It's got good performance. Not quite beast mode like the others, but it's still good. A solid release, my favorite release from the Terry Mugler house. Terry Mugler's Ultra Zest. So those are my top 5 for fall. Let's get into my top 5 for winter. But before I do that, I have a few honorable mentions, 4 honorable mentions for winter. This was a harder list for me to do. It was hard for me to narrow it down and exclude these others, but I had to be honest about the fragrances that I was wearing more often. And these, as good as they are and as amazing as they are, I wasn't reaching for them as much as the other 5. So they're here as honorable mentions, but you should still check them out. First, we have Christian Dior, Dior Homme Intense, a very powdery cocoa, a little on the feminine side. It's just one of the knocks, one of the reasons why I don't reach for it as much. But I'm always surprised by this one because of the amount of compliments that I get when I'm wearing it. It's amazing. I don't expect to be complimented on it. Maybe because it's not my favorite scent. But this is kind of the opposite of Ultra Zest. I wear this one when I want to please people, especially in the wintertime, in the very cold days. It's a warming scent. This is perfect for winter. And I wear it those times when I want to kind of provoke a compliment. Great for dates, great for nights out, clubbing, all those things. Very, very unique scent from the house of Christian Dior, Dior Homme Intense. The other honorable mention, this was my number 1 in my last winter scent. So it'll surprise a lot of you by being here in the honorable mentions. This is YSL's La Nuit de l'Homme. The reason why this one fell was because, yeah, man, it's still amazing. I still love this scent. This is one of my favorite scents of all time. Just on the scent, on the smell alone. This is one of the first fragrances that got me hooked on fragrance collecting. It was this one. When I smelled it, I just couldn't get enough of it. I went and watched reviews, and it's been one of my favorites of all time. But I don't reach for it as much because all these newcomers kind of do different things better than this one does. Not always a better scent, but the popularity factor on this one, those other ones, people don't recognize them quite as much. They're a little more unique, especially for my area. This one, I have gotten some, even though it's a huge compliment getter and a big people pleaser, it's not as safe as you would expect because there are people who don't like this scent. I've had that before. That's one of the reasons why it doesn't get quite as much play as the other ones. Most of these fragrances in my list are people pleasers. They never give me a negative comment. Knocked it down pretty hardcore, and I've worn it a lot. You know, I know how I feel about this fragrance. I'm not really gonna test it like I do for a lot of the newer ones, but it's still one of my favorite scents of all time. And most of you have already smelled it. Most of you already own it. So nothing new here, but La Nuit de l'Homme as one of my honorable mentions. These other two here, my other two honorable mentions, they are some of the best fragrances I've ever smelled. And the reason why they're honorable mentions is because number one, the heavy price tag on these, and number two, because I don't own full bottles. But these are from the house of Tom Ford. No surprise to anybody. This is Tobacco Vanille and Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather. Tuscan Leather, it's this extremely hyper masculine fragrance. That strong leather, it's got some suede in there, the strong woodsy notes, softened a little bit with a little bit of florals. This fragrance here, I mean, for those of you who are tired of sweet scents, tired of the florals and the powderies, and you want something masculine, you want to smell like a man, try Tuscan Leather, especially if you can afford this. It's unique, got strong performance, extremely high quality. There are no knocks on this fragrance unless you don't like masculine scents. But Tuscan Leather, especially for the winter time, this thing is liquid gold. Tuscan Leather. So is this one, by the way. Tobacco Vanille. This is a scent that, let me get a whiff. It's extremely smooth, sexy, seductive. One of the best fragrances I've ever smelled. The vanilla, I mean, this is the highest quality juice, probably the highest quality juice that I've ever smelled. It gets you compliments. It's one of those fragrances that when you're wearing it, especially in the cold days, your girlfriend's gonna want to cuddle with you. People are gonna want to hug you, be close to you because you smell so good. The reason why it's an honorable mention is because of that price tag and because I don't have a full bottle. But there is one knock I would give this fragrance, in that it's a little bit on the feminine side. But I don't care. I still wear this. I love reaching for it. Tobacco Vanille, one of my favorites for winter time. If I had more winters, I would splurge on a full bottle for sure. All right, so those are my honorable mentions. Let's get right into the top 5. At number 5, this is a not quite as popular fragrance in the fragrance community, which, you know, to my disappointment, I think it deserves a little more credit than it's getting. This is Versace Eros. This is a very high quality fragrance from the house of Versace. It's got great performance, great longevity. I love the tonka bean note in it. It reminds me of the Allure Sport line. This is a fragrance that I could see Chanel releasing, and it's a people pleaser. You're gonna get compliments for sure. It's smooth, it's sweet. There's not a lot to say that's bad about this fragrance. I guess the only thing you can say that it's not really pushing the envelope too much, but who cares? It does the job, it smells good, and I reach for it a lot. It's a little bit different than a lot of other fragrances out there. It's not quite what everybody is used to smelling. So I reach for this one quite a bit. It's one of the safer scents for me, one of the dumber reaches for me. It does everything I want it to do, so that's why it's here at number 5. It's also very inexpensive. It's been discounted recently, so you can find it online for pretty cheap. At number 4, this is a fragrance that has made a lot of my lists in the past, and it's here again. It gets some hate in the fragrance community. This is Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. But most of the hate doesn't apply to my area. Some people say that it's too popular. But in my area in South Texas, nobody wears this fragrance. It's a little odd. Maybe it's because it's not as upscale as other places. Maybe it's because it's very warm. But not a lot of people wear this scent, and I don't get recognized when I'm wearing it. It's that fruity, spicy smell. It's very warming. It's got great performance. And the only knock you can have on this fragrance is that it's a little bit synthetic with the spices and all that. But in the wintertime, that doesn't really matter to me. And I love wearing this. It's one of those scents that it's very fun and very winter-like. So I love when winter comes around because these are the type of scents I want to reach for. This kind of does what Burberry London does like 10 times better, in my opinion. So that's why it's here at number 4, Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. I love this juice. It's awesome, especially for winter time, at number 4. At number 3, I have one of the legends in the community, no surprise to anyone. This is Terry Mugler's Pure Malt. A very boozy, mature, masculine fragrance. Different, upscale. This is a 10 out of 10 fragrance from the house of Terry Mugler. It's unique, it's high quality, perfect for winter. I've noticed that the people who give me the most compliments when I'm wearing this fragrance are people who love to go out, love to drink, love alcohol. Those types of people, they really enjoy this fragrance. Young people, not so much. It's not really a young man's fragrance below the age of 20. People don't drink much. I don't really get comments from them. But people who love a good, nice, anything that has strong alcohol content, this fragrance right here, it will get you compliments from those people. So I love wearing it going out socially. Terry Mugler's Pure Malt. At number 2, also from the house of, I know they call it Mugler, but I don't care. I just call it Terry Mugler. Another fragrance from the house of Terry Mugler. So they're doing pretty well in this list. This is Pure Havane. And I'll also throw in Rayon Tradition's Insurrection Wild. I just did a video comparing these two, so go watch that if you haven't. But I was pleasantly surprised by how similar this fragrance is to this one and how closely it does what it does. This is actually my scent of the day, wearing it right here. It's not quite as high quality as this one is as far as the synthetic and the natural smelling of the notes, but it's really, really close, and it does 90% of what this one does. It's also a little bit safer of a scent. Like I mentioned in that video, Terry Mugler has a bit of a daring feel to its fragrances, and this one doesn't do that. So I really enjoy reaching for both of these scents. I go for this one when it's like a night out, more upscale, when I want to feel a little bit fancier, I guess you could say. And this one is more like an everyday type of scent, especially because it's very inexpensive. I think you can get it for around 50 bucks, under 50 bucks. At most retail stores. Online, you can probably find it for around 40. So if you can get your hands on this one, definitely do it. If you can't, this one is worth the price tag as well. Terry Mugler's Pure Havane, my second most worn fragrance in the winter time. Number 2. My number 1. At number 1, this fragrance might surprise some of you guys. I know it surprised me, but this is by far my most worn fragrance for winter. And I did a review on it before, and it's quite a popular review. And I know that I'm a little bit biased towards this scent, particularly because my ex-girlfriend really, really liked this scent. This was her favorite. So I'd wear it a lot. And because of that, I felt like my opinion was a little bit biased and skewed. So I try to discount that bias. But I've noticed that when I started to wear it going out around other people socially, I would get a lot of compliments, and there were a lot of women who liked it. Now, not everybody did. I did have a few women that didn't like it, but it was a people pleaser. And I started to think, with the price tag of this fragrance, I should show it to you. This is Hugo Boss Bottle Night. So I was thinking, with all the compliments I was getting from people, getting pleasantly surprised by that, and especially like girls who have smelled a lot of men's fragrances and can predict a lot of what I'm wearing that when they smell it without me telling them. This is one of the fragrances that they tend to like more than other people because they smelled it all, and they kind of get bored with some of the different types of repetitive smells. This is one that they tend to be drawn towards. For that reason, I'm a little bit surprised that the fragrance community doesn't give it that much love. But it's high quality. You can get this one for 25 bucks on eBay. I mean, it's a steal. It's got great performance, lasts a long time, projects very well. It's unique. People are not going to recognize this scent when you're wearing it. Not that many people own it. And what more can you want from a fragrance, It's very easy to find also, by the way. You can find it anywhere, which is another thing that surprises me that it's not as popular, because fragrances that are easy to find, people recognize them. But maybe it's just me. this fragrance works for me. I know there are other fragrance reviewers who have those pet fragrances that nobody else likes but them. There's one guy that I think it's the Bopper, who likes gray flannel, the original. Every reviewer has those. Maybe this is mine. Maybe this is that one scent that I have that only works for me and it doesn't work for anybody else. But I get a lot of compliments from this one. It does great. It does everything I want it to do. It's my most worn fragrance for winter. It was my most worn last year. It's gonna be my most worn this year. So it's here at number 1, Boss Bottled Night. So that is my list, guys, for 2015. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with my picks? What are your favorite fragrances? What are your most worn fragrances for fall and winter? Curious to know. Let me know in the comment section below. I will be doing an update video next, letting you guys know why I've been so slow with the posting these past couple years and what's coming next, how that's gonna change. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. So rate, comment, subscribe, guys, and take it easy. Peace.